Get, I finally figured it out. I think it's recording now. So I thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on this. It's a Chosen Lot production. It's a test run. You know, we're going to start our podcast soon, and we're going to be discussing a lot of things coming up. So I wanted to get us started with a quick, little test run, see how it goes.
Mm.
Um, so the subject tonight is hip hop from then to now, and I just like to discuss what we know about the beginnings and what it has transformed to. 'Cause we know it's definitely transformed into something. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. And we have um, one of the OGs in the game used to be known as Q. He could introduce himself as what he goes by now. Um, but he's definitely one of my pioneers in hip hop who I've worked with. So let them know who you are, brother.
Definitely formerly known as Q, now Yashimar, the foreigner. We enlightened now. Following the Most High. So completely unexplainable is no more. But it's all good. Omar on deck, however you want to call it. But glad to be here and um, definitely my wheelhouse. We talking about hip hop, and you know, been in the game for a minute. I feel like we got three generations right here.
Yeah, I thought of that earlier. I said I guess it's not truly three, but yes, it seems like three.
Yeah,
So
you.
speaking of that, we have the young brother representing the more youthful side of the game.
Yeah.
I used to call him Lil Q, but he might be known as something else now. He can introduce himself.
No, it's still the same name, Lil Q,
Okay, okay.
artist name.
That's what's up.
Hey yo, you.
Yeah, I remember. I
So,
still remember when we made that tag too.
so I guess I'll start it off by asking you brothers what drew you to hip hop. Um, I guess I could start with my story. I think I was about 8 years old, and I was in front of my dad's yard in Mount Vernon, and a group of brothers came down the block. They had the hats to the back and the one pants leg rolled up, and it must have been about 15 or 20 of them. They was all older than me, so I ran to my dad's steps. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but they had one of them. I guess later on they call them boom boxes. We used to just call them boxes, but they had one of the portable radios in their hand, and all I heard was a dude rapping with the echo chamber, and I didn't know what it was, but it just sounded like I just wanted to know more. I was like, what is he saying, and where's that coming from? And it sounds so dope. It was to a beat, and then
Mm.
that started my trek on learning a little bit about hip hop. After that, I heard the King Tim the Third album with the Fatback Band, and they had the little well, I think it was the Fatback album, but they had King Tim the Third on there rapping, and that was my first like hearing it on actual record. That was right before the Sugar Hill Gang came out, and then boom, Sugar Hill came out, and then it just blew from there. But before we got all of that, I was too young to obviously go to parties and stuff. I'm 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, but the tapes would circulate. So the battles, the Kumo D Busy Bee battle, the 1981 convention at the Harlem World. All these tapes would circulate, and I would get a copy of the tape, and then me and my friends would make more copies and trade them and sell them or whatever the case was. So I more heard hip hop than I saw hip hop first. You know, it wasn't on TV yet. It was very little on radio, if any at all. So you had to get a cassette tape. You had to be in that game to hear it. And then as I got a little older, it was the if you stayed up late enough, you heard the different radio shows. They usually was on college stations. You know what I'm saying? So the audio, not the audio, too. Ooh man, I'm forgetting these dudes' names. But Stretch and Bobito had a show. It was a couple of shows that was on the college stations. And if you stayed up till 2, 3 in the morning, you would hear them, and that's where you heard your hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's where we got it before it got popular. So that's what drew me to it. What drew you fellas to it?
Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, that's
That's
I don't even know about little Q. That I mean, that's the origin story right there. Like,
that's the mecca. That's the highest. That's the first. You got the first impression of hip hop.
yo, yo, it wasn't even on mainstream radio because by the time I got hip, I'm trying to think, it was already, bigger. I can't I don't remember my first exposure to hip hop, but I remember listening to Run DMC, and
Hmm.
they were it. They were everything. Run DMC was, I just remember wanting to have shell toe Adidas and fat laces and a
Hmm.
can. I could never get a Kango, but I had my shell toe Adidas Stan Smiths, and I always wanted to have different colors. I had Pumas. Um, of course I was born in Queens, New York, so um,
Hmm.
the Juice Crew and MC Shan, and that style and that crew. But Run DMC was also from Queens, so those were the first. That's the first memory I have of the music. But when I first heard it, like as far as like wanting to be a rapper and started to be like, man, this is an art form. This is dope. Not just a fan, like saw it in a different light.
Hmm.
Was Slick Rick, The Great Adventure, the
Right.
story. I mean, that was like I was amazed. Like I was listening to this, and it was like a movie in my head. The way
Right.
Slick Rick was dropping joints, and Slick was the first dude that was just nice on the mic with it. But it
Mm.
wasn't until Rakim and then Big Daddy Kane I
Yeah.
wanted I wanted to grab a mic. You know. Now my brother tell you it was when he wrote his first rhyme, and I heard his first rhyme, and it was all right. Big Daddy Kane made me think I could do it, and that's when I was in the basement with the little record player and actually trying to rap and then writing rhymes myself. So yeah, that was like between 86 and 88.
Okay. Okay. That's dope. What
Yeah,
about you, Lil Q?
I was about to say the first time I got introduced to hip hop, honestly, was had to been 50 Cent's run. I
Mm.
remember Follow Mine David, the fam in Germantown. That's all we was hearing was 50 Cent. So I think that like at that set, like I was into it, like off just an ear, I was into it.
So
But as far as
not to cut you off though, but I just want to know, was it the 50 Cent mixtape run, or was it when he got on and started doing
no, definitely when it got on, I'll say the
it?
Massacre
Okay.
album.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Massacre album. I
Okay. So
wouldn't even
that was
say I
like
wouldn't
his
even
second.
say
Okay.
yeah. I wouldn't even say Get Rich or Die Trying yet, but it was the second album. I just remember David had the CD and we'd get on the game and that's all I would hear.
Okay.
But I would say as far as me as an artist, like Breakaway would definitely be like Pops. Just getting the vibe of like going to the studio, writing down lyrics and just actually want to craft it into like something, you'd be able to do. But inspirations I can go a list down those. I can go a list down those. But
Yeah. I
Yeah.
recall a time when we came up when me and my man Brent, may he rest in peace, my partner Plan B. We came to Maryland one time, and I remember we were recording your pop, and you were the one who introduced me to Chief Keef. I had never heard of him.
Was that the Poconos? I don't
Nah,
know. I don't remember
nah,
if y'all had a
that was
session.
Maryland. We was in the base.
Oh,
We was in your uncle basement,
oh, word.
and I asked you what what y'all was what your age group was checking out at the time, and I think you said Chief Keef. And
Yeah.
I didn't know who Chief Keef was. I didn't know how deep Chicago drill rap was. But then after you mentioned it, I looked it up, and then I started hearing some of the stuff that was going on over there, which that was definitely one of the changes in hip hop, which is one of the questions I wanted to ask tonight. Hip hop has gone through different like migrations, right? So you had your era where it was, let's say, Sugar Hill Gang and a lot of party type rap, right? You had like I don't know if y'all ever heard of DJ Hollywood. I think he had one or two records, but he was more known in the clubs. So it was, those were the guys who would get up on the mic and they would just brag about, stuff they didn't have, but maybe wanted to have. I got a swimming pool in my mansion and da 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 da. But then, like O said, then came Run DMC, and then that kind of changed the game. And then after Run DMC, it was Rakim. So when Rakim started throwing lyrics, and like the lyrical, I think he kind of introduced the lyrical game into it. You know what I'm saying? When things got real lyrical. So, um, just thinking about the different, I won't call them eras, but the different changes in hip hop, and it migrated across the country and across the world. So when it went to different communities, of course, different things came out of it. We got the West Coast, we got introduced to the gang life with Dr. Dre and Snoop, NWA, and all of that. And then, like you mentioned with Chief Keef, the Chicago drill rap really got big. So, what do y'all think about the changes, and were the changes good for the evolution or to hip hop's detriment? I guess.
Uh, you want to
Go.
answer first? Oh, I go first. It's really like just holding the title for hip hop. Like I would say, like it's different lanes now. Like it seems like everything gets big off of hype. Like how the hype is behind it. Like, but can you really categorize that as hip hop though? Like,
Mm.
yeah, Chief Keef did change, and he went big. But is it that to categorize that as hip hop? I don't know. I don't know because this is saying where hip hop came from now. It's just like Chief Keef ain't really that lyric. It's just hype music.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Everything has a wave behind Chief Keef. Like just the demand of it, like something so brand new. Like he was one of the first ones to be shirtless with 30 dudes and guns in the video. Like people wasn't used to that before, but it's just to me that's not really hip hop, but it's just like it's a wave. It's just something new. Like the demand of it, and of course the big ones behind the scenes control what we want to be hip hop for real.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
You're
it's
right.
hip hop.
100% right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say he might have the first with 30 dudes and guns, but Tupac was definitely shirtless.
Yeah.
Almost all his joints.
Right. Right.
Probably dudes before him. But that's a great point you made. Um, Hip hop, like so, my definition of hip hop is the roots, the culture, and a beat and rhymes. Not no shade at Chief Keef. He 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 brought maybe a form of hip hop. So hip hop has an if it was an umbrella, there would be some. If it was a tree, there would be branches. And
Yeah.
Hmm.
that branch was drill. So that was that lane, and that style, same as uh, gangster rap. That was a whole thing. Because um, from Rakim to Slick Rick to Kane, and then to Nas, Wu Tang. It had its different evolutions, but it was a point where I was in school. It was all about black medallions, no gold, Africa. Our sisters are our queens, and all
Now,
that. And then when it changed.
well, oh, let me cut you off real quick, right? Because I'm gonna just put this just to play a little. I don't want to say devil's advocate, but let's just say, right? And this is what I think, because hip hop had a there was a variety, right? So at that same time you're talking about, I 100% agree with you. You had your Karis ones, you had your um X Clan, you had everybody, the Black Medallions, Chuck D and Public Enemy. But at the same time, you had a Cool G Rap who was spitting gangster rap. We didn't call it gangster rap, but he was probably one of the original spitters
Yeah,
of gangster rap. And if you want to claim an origin to it, we go to Schoolie D from Philly, right? He was actually the first one who is quoted to put gangster rap on actual record. He had that song PSK, Parkside
right.
Killers. PSK, you making that green? People always say, what the hell does that mean? But that was considered one of the first gangster songs. That was before Ice T made 6 in the morning. So,
True.
you know what I'm saying? So it was always there, but I think the difference was there was a variety. It wasn't pushed one genre on you where like what came later. What do you think about that?
Um, I think it was a variety, but for one reason or the other, it was kept low key. It was
Mm,
it was it was local. When
right,
NWA dropped, it was everywhere.
right.
So it it was the it was really the first time openly, you heard people saying, calling women bees and whores, and you know openly talking about killing somebody, a brother from the hood and stuff like that. So it was widely accepted, as being popular. You right though. It was always there, more so in the background. But this now was on mainstream, and it was like broadcast everywhere. So yeah,
Mm,
I guess that's will be the difference.
got you, got you. I think I agree with you there. NWA was the change, but to be fair to NWA, their first album actually was more rebellion than anything else. I mean, it did have a little, he talked about, scooping up bees at the club and stuff, but you had F the Police, you had Express Yourself. They had a lot of songs that were more rebellion, which
Mhm.
kind of lean. I mean, it was a different style, but it was leaning more kind of like Public Enemy to a degree. It was after the breakup when Ice Cube left, and then they got more mainstream.
Yeah.
Then the songs got more ratchet, and then it was
Mhm.
about bees and hoes and blah blah blah, and killing ends on the street. So yeah, it got a little ugly after the um, it got a little ugly after that first album. But I think their first album had a little more, wasn't conscious, but it was more rebellion than
Yeah. Right.
gangster to me. You know what I mean? But
That's
just to let y'all know, I got a message on here that said we got about 10 minutes left. Unfortunately, we had to record this in a different venue, so we don't have much time. But I'll let you guys elaborate a little more, or if you want me to ask another question, I can do that.
I'd like to ask the young uh brother here, like, what is the state of hip hop now? Like, and I when mumble rap came up, I have to call that rap music. I don't call that hip hop. I don't even want that on the. I can't say that's on the brand.
Mm.
What what is the what is the direction? Like, what is the vibe of rap music now? Like, where is it going, and who's running it right now?
Well, I'll say where it's going is is no lyricism at all. But honestly, it's no lyricism at all. It's just like I was saying earlier, like it's just the hype. Like, what are you bringing something new? It's not about lyrics no more. It's just about talent and what can you do with your talent and the business and the behind the scenes business and all that stuff. But I would say who's running it right now. Uh, it's to the point where it's not even a male. Like, there's females for real.
Oh,
You got
definitely. I
Sexy
would.
Red,
Yeah.
Glorilla.
Yeah.
Like those be like the go tos now. Like I would say you got Lil Baby, you got Future, Young Boy. Like those are the top ones. Drake. But you see, like he's just making club music. Like he's not lyrical no more. It's just that's what it's gotten to though. To answer your question, it's just hip hop. Hip hop is, I hate to say it, but dying down as it goes. Unless somebody can prove it wrong, there's an artist out there that can prove it wrong. It'll be so be it. But the direction it's going in now, it's like to make a hit, you gotta have a dance with it, or to make a hit, you gotta be trolling, or be like I don't know. It has to be a club anthem. Like that's the direction I see it going in.
I would add to that that I agree with you, but I would say that there's an underground, let's say, if I want to call it a train, that's kind of riding under it, and a lot of the original um, pioneers in the game are now dropping albums. So if you look for it, you can find it, right? So Rakim just recently dropped the album. Um, Smith and Weston from Brooklyn just dropped the album. It's dope. The Clips just dropped an album. I think that's from your area, right? DMV. They dope. That album's actually dope. Um, my man I Born from Mount Vernon just dropped the album. Dope. So there's some dope hip hop out there that has more, let's say, I would say more up to date beats, but bringing back the old school type lyrics and not just talking about the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's out there. You just gotta. Unfortunately, it's not mainstream. Um,
Yeah,
they promote what they promote. I think we got to make a part two to this, obviously, because this is short. But we know that the industry controls the game, and they promote what they want, and they promote. It's a controllable music, right? So you're 100% right that they've gone to the females now because that's what they wanted all along. They started with the males talking about the females, and then next thing you know, we our generation is what created the monsters that you're seeing today.
yeah,
It took me a minute to take the blame for that, but we created that. You know what I'm saying? When we came out with the songs of bees ain't nothing but hoes and tricks, da 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 da. Now they like, yeah, we hoes and tricks, and they making buku money telling people they are. And what it's doing, what we're not seeing, which we didn't see when we did it, is the music we're making now affects the generation to come. So the Cardi B new song, the Gorilla, well not Gorilla, Glorilla, um, and
You're
what's that
right
girl
though.
name? Sexy Red, Sexy Red, and Meg Thee Stallion and all the rest of them. They're making music now, but these young girls that's 3, 4, 5 years old, they're listening to it, they're hearing it, and what is it going to make them? And that's the question. When them girls turn 19, 20, 20, 25, what are they going to be? You know what I'm saying? So that's what
Part
I
two. Part two. We'll get further into the deeper the deeper meaning behind the music and the powers that be who's really running this generation of music. Because back in the day, it was more so driven by the culture, and we had more control. But slowly but surely, the powers that be came in. But to answer your question, by the time them little girls grow up, they gonna be butt naked and on the and just rapping. The video will just be butt naked. There's no clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's gonna be an AI version of them.
Yo,
What nigga did?
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. 'Cause
Cause
they
they
already
can
making
actually say that is not me, that is AI.
Right.
it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely scary, fellas.
You were definitely right, E. Hip hop isn't gone, you just gotta look for it.
Yeah, yeah, I think that you can find what you want to listen to, obviously, but yeah, if you go on a mainstream channel, you're gonna hear nonsense, and I don't think we could change that unless we we own the game, and they'll never allow us to own the game without a fight, obviously. So that's not gonna happen. Even the moguls who think they got it, they don't got it. You know what I'm saying? There's always, look at your boy Diddy. You know what I'm saying? You could think you in total control until you mess with them, and they'll show you exactly who's in control. So when they want to shut you down, they shut you down. You know what I'm saying? There's a story out there. I don't know how 100% true it is, but I guarantee some of it is true. Is where Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and what's my bro from Texas? That was the top dog in Texas when
You want
Ghetto,
the one that found Drake and them?
yeah, when the Ghetto Boys came out, he was involved.
Yeah.
He's a
What's his name?
he's a shot call out there. I forget his name right now, but it'll come to me. But yeah, they were trying to start a distribution label because they were like, we already got the record companies, we got Death Row, we got Murder Inc., we got this, that, and the third. Um, all we need to do is distribute ourselves, and we can cut these dudes out totally.
Yep.
And right after that, Suge Knight went through his mess. Irv Gotti got indicted, and dude from Texas, like I said, damn, I don't know, his name is escaping me right now, but I know y'all
Jay,
know what I'm talking about.
you can
Um,
hear me?
huh?
Oh, Jay Prince.
Jay Prince, yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Jay Prince, he got some charges around the same time. All three of them got charges around the same time. And then the rumor was Jay Z was the one who kind of blew that deal out the water. Like I said, I don't know how true, but long story short, all of them got charges. And Jay Z is a multi-billionaire at this point. So anyway,
There
you
you go.
can.
Find out who's willing to be the snitch and ward him, and he'll take down. He'll be the Judas. He'll take down everybody else, and you know, be the name as the gangster, the ruthless businessman, and all he did was snitch on everybody else.
Right, right. And like I said, that's allegedly because we don't know. But what we can say is they will not let you have your own. I think that's evident. Um, they gave what's his name from Cash Money. They gave him a beautiful distribution deal where he actually made the majority of the money from the distribution deal, but he still didn't own 100%. But when them guys try to own 100% of it, oh, them boys, what my man, the irritated genie, called them, the small hats. They let them know who's in charge. We got this game. Y'all can't have it back.